In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light."
Welcome to Talk Nation Radio. I'm Dory Smith.
One indictment, perhaps the whole house of cards would collapse at that point.
Professor Francis A. Boyle teaches at the College of Law at the University of Illinois. He is author of numerous books, including In Defending Civil Resistance Under International Law, which has been used successfully in numerous foreign policy protest trials. Professor Boyle, thank you so much for joining us again.
Dory, thank you for having me on, and my best to your listening audience.
Professor Boyle, you've been talking about trying George W. Bush for murder. Why don't you talk about how that would come to pass?
Right. For the past several weeks now, I've been working with people in Maine, Vermont, Connecticut, North Carolina, New York, New Jersey, on a campaign to get President Bush indicted by district attorneys or state attorneys for murdering United States armed forces in Iraq. At common law here in the United States, murder is defined as the unlawful killing of a human being with malice aforethought. Now, it's very easy to parse those terms in this context. Unlawful killing, the war itself was unlawful and illegal. It violated the United Nations Charter on two separate occasions. The President tried to
and one of the areas that gap is fed is the fact that, according to the Washington Post, the healthcare industry, if you can believe it, is putting $1.3 million into lobbying every single day. Every single day. And then you got the drug companies and their advertising. So with all of that money coming into Capitol Hill, I'm afraid that too many of my colleagues look at the world from the perspective of the insurance companies, from the drug companies who are charging us the highest prices for medicine in the entire world, rather than from the needs of ordinary Americans. The antidote to that, and what we have got to do as a nation, is we need a mass mobilization. Millions and millions of people have got to stand up and make it very clear to the President and to Congress that the status quo is simply not acceptable, that we have a dysfunctional healthcare system, that we're the only nation in the world that does not guarantee health, the industrialized nation, that does not guarantee healthcare to every man, woman, and child, and yet we end up spending almost twice as much as any other country.
Media has become part of the story. With Hurricane Katrina, death and annihilation do not allow for careful scrutiny. They don't allow for hand-picked supportive audiences. People trying to bury their dead and save their living loved ones will not stand for a smirking vow to rebuild Trent Lott's vacation house. Over the last 2 years, many loyal, patriotic Americans have despaired that the truth of this administration would never come out, that the neocon chickens of environmental and economic ruination would never come home to roost during this administration. Now, in a calamity of unspeakable depth, the truth is out. What federal cuts to disaster prep really cost us all. What it means when the top seat at FEMA is filled as a political favor. How new shoes are more important than human suffering to our Secretary of State. A real estate deal more important to the ever-elusive Dick Cheney. despite the huge tragedy, we can't even really grasp the depth of this tragedy in terms of life and property loss, but there's already fear that the sudden revealing of how the Bush administration connives and moves about in the shadows won't last, that our memory as Americans tends to be so short. Do you think the impact that we're seeing of lies coming out and misdirections coming out is something that will last in life?
Love back into the world, to remind the world that love is important. Love is important. Love each other. We're all one. Let's take care of the planet. We have 4 years to get it right, or else it's irreversible damage we've done. So we have an important message.